Greetings and welcome to the first episode in the full clear series of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. I am Jeff the Christian Gamer, and we are starting on the intro because I was not aware that the screen would change after I beat the game, and that made it a little awkward because it spoiled a lot of what ended up happening to the storyline. So here we are, playing through it for the second time, myself for the second time. This game is amazing, groundbreaking. One of my favorite RPGs of all time. Yes, it's tropey. Sometimes it is very tropey. However, those tropes are tropes for a reason, and that's all I'm going to say about that. This game is fantastic, and I'm looking forward to sharing this experience with you guys and clearing the game 100%. There's a lot of little nuances that they do not tell you about combat and about a bunch of different aspects of the game that I will go through and talk about in depth and try to uh, bring to your attention in order to help your experience be enhanced. That's going to be the focus of this particular game. This particular episode is just filling you in on a couple of details that may be helpful to you on your journey. Now, I'm going to mention these as they come around so that they don't confuse you or you forget them due to time, etc. I know I myself am notorious for forgetting things over a long period of time. I'm not going to assume that any of you guys are in that same position, but I'm going to be considerate of that fact because I am. So, yeah, that's the thing. I'm going to go ahead and shut up and let y'all enjoy this intro cinematic. Okay, here's where I'll insert my first hint. disengaging in the battle can be invaluable in repositioning your units. Let's say you have a fight that's fighting on a slope, like on a hill, and you notice that your party is drifting further and further away from where the enemy you are fighting spawned from. If you go too far away, the enemy resets. So instead, you hold down R and press B, put your sword away, and run back up the hill. That way, your party will follow you, and you can continue the fight without it resetting. I've noticed on a couple of occasions that happened to me, and so the best solution that I found was what I just said. Okay, I'm not going to insult your intelligence by reading every single one of these, but a lot of this intro information is very good if you apply it in ways that are not necessarily expounded upon in the tutorial. As we come to those, I'll let you know, but other than that, yeah, that'll be about it. Yeah, all that stuff is pretty standard. This is the core healing mechanic, and one of the things that I value the very most in this game is health potions. By the way, this game has a lot of Christian cues to it. I'm going to make a video over this one as soon as I finish the one on Legend of Zelda, which, by the way, is still a work in progress. I have not had the chance to work on it since a couple of weeks after I'd announced it. So, yeah, it's going to be a time yet. It's going to be a while. I'm thinking January is the earliest, like I said previously. So, yeah, that video is in the works, as well as an analysis of Xenoblade Chronicles 2. This one should be much easier and more streamlined than the Zelda one that will come out for me to produce. So, hopefully this will be out just a couple of weeks after Zelda.
To move it, Max. Better. Do you think Sunset Village will be done too? And you too? Eventually, there'll be nowhere left to live. So, you Titans will build it there. Is that right? So they say, for what it's worth. Mind you, I was born here and all the rest. As for my ancestors, who could say where they were born? Can it really exist? This illusion, and the Creator, who said to live there. The land of Benton, atop the world tree. If such a place did exist, perhaps we could all live in peace, with no need for fighting. Sure would be great. For everyone. Even folks in Fonsa. If the Divine Architect can see us now, I wonder what he thinks. Alright, back to making money. I think this one should be enough for today. Oi, Rams! Care for a little swim to the Argentan Trade Guild? You're planning on sending it now. You're getting warm on bedtime. Don't play the lazy old man with me. There's plenty of sunshine left. Kids these days, no respect for my sweater.
My wife found herself saying something similar to that relatively recently, like a couple of days ago, because my youngest is learning how to communicate, and she's not always the most tactful. In that respect, she takes after me, so I can pretty much grin and bear it for the most part, but I do realize that might not be the best for her in the long run. I actually really like Shulk as wow. I really like Rex as a character. A, because he reminds me a lot of Shulk, and B, because his dialogue is very witty and very snappy. Yep, that is a set of buttons that I rarely use, but they were talking about the fact that you can hit the uh, right arrow on the D-pad, excuse me, the up arrow on the D-pad, and the right arrow on the left, upper, and right arrows on the D-pad to access menus for your controls. Not too terribly important, again, because I didn't really have trouble with the controls because I was very careful and meticulous in how I read the controls and understood them. But generally speaking, if you need it, they're there. The compass. A lot of people have had trouble with the compass and navigating with it. I personally have not. Pretty much exactly where I expected to go is where the mission showed up, and the compass took me there uh, pretty regularly and pretty accurately. Now, I will say that the terrain issues in the way, aka mountains or uh, lakes and stairs and things like that, can throw you off a little bit. But generally speaking, it's right on time, right on the money. I am not one of those confident explorers. I will not be not using the map. In fact, I don't think they explain this to you in the game, so I'll go to it now in the menu. Uh, yeah, so you have your characters, your skip travel. The skip travel is what they were talking about with the map. You can use your right joystick to move around on the map, to move your cursor. They do say it at the bottom over there, but it's not necessarily clear, so I just want to throw that out there.
What? That's it? It's life, man. It's still more than I give to none, friend. If you bring military supplies, then you get good price. Ceasefire between war all day and Uriah not keep for too much longer, methinks. So hopefully it's hot item. Well, what friend think? I'll make it worth your while. I told you before. Stay away from that sort of thing. Oh, it's a shame. Red's good salvager. Could be good way to earn a pretty penny. Waste of talent, Rusty. Anywho, where were we? I'll take your offer. 200 now, and you know what to do with the rest. Okie doodles. Sending monies to Coroner Fonset Village. Is right? Yeah. It's a beautiful thing. Sending money home at such young age. I touched. Wish my own dumb little pond did same. This gets Gramps doesn't charge rent. Hey, hey. All right, I'm counting on you. Roger. Let's do business.
Another thing that I would advise, excuse me, another thing that I would advise in playing this game, even though it may be counterproductive in most cases towards the end game, is I would say not to spend money if you can avoid it. A lot of the game mechanics push you towards spending money because when you buy up all the items in a shop, you are able to essentially buy that shop and have a special effect on your characters. But most of the special effects are really small, and the ones that are bigger take a lot of money to get. So I would just say to hold on to your money because there's a very nice epic blade that you can get that I actually did not obtain before the end of the game that costs 500,000 gold. So you pick that guy up, then you can buy whatever you want in the stores and whatnot. But for the most part, there's not much that you need to buy right away. There are other missions to increase the affinity of your blades by buying certain items. I would say those missions, as well as the missions where you have to buy a shop for the sake of a mission. Those are the times where you would spend money. And other than that, I would save it. Oh, yeah. Use manual mode on your camera. And speaking of cameras, in my settings, my system settings, sorry, my camera settings, Uh, your zoom speed and your turn speed, uh, I would play with those till you get them to your liking. But me personally, I'm good with a slow zoom and a fast turn speed. Um, that seems like the best option for me in the grand scheme of things because I don't really change the zoom of my camera very much. And when I do accidentally change it, I don't want it to go out of whack and crazy. So I tend to make sure that I have my zoom speed down and my turn speed up. Turn speed, you rotate your camera a lot in this game. You're going to need to use a lot of camera rotation. A lot of adjustments to your camera need to be made if you are in manual mode, which is the mode that I would advise for this particular game. So yeah, that's that.
Thank you for accepting, sir. I'm Banner, chairman of our Argentum trade. But pleased to make your acquaintance. We hear from proponent that friend is salvager of some renown. That being case, I have deep-seeming fitting to ask our friends. A request straight from the chairman. Reward is 100,000 $100,000. Friend here, right? Actually, that's just the advance. Another 100,000 provided upon completing. 200,000 gold in total. I must be dreaming. I'll do it. I hereby swear to use every skill I possess to ensure this job is successful. But I promise I won't let you down. You agree without even hearing details of job. Right. What kind of job is it? You really have skills, man. Of course, I'll be fine. Now, if you say, here, Crow will explain the task. Bring them in. Sir?
There's a reason why he was so passive. Dramatic reveal.
Drivers. And ladies. Wow, so cool. So, there's something that we want to highlight. There were some current shots that showed up in an uncharted area, but it's a long way down. Nice. I like a good challenge. I'm not offered to assemble a team of veterans, but this group barely fit. They want a small, elite team and only from the field. But when Banner has trouble, she's shown higher ranks. You made the right choice.
This guy.
Child salvager. Don't tell me we're going to have to hire some queen such as a result of it.
What the hell? You look as much like a kid as I do, lady.
At least I would have whacked myself for the promise when you was doing just what happened.
What are you trying to say? Rex, was it? I only call you to excuse my lady's discourtesy.
Jonah, no one ever told you about speaking for me.
Stop
Shut your...
here. No, you see your point. In any case, this should be easy enough to make sure. What? What are you playing at? Well.
Miles, what good does it be to have a kid?
You said it yourself, didn't you? What if the kid's not up to
I
it?
said nothing of the sort.
You did think it though, right? And anyway, now we know. You'll do right enough. Though you don't know a proper driver. to learn those arts. Gramps showed me a thing or two, even when I was little. That was his idea of playtime. Well, you got some skill, I'll give you that. Guts too. Kid, you better work hard. Friends are such rowdy fun. Here is advice. Use to buy what gear you need, then go to dock on Star. Banner has arranged excellent vessel for you there. You got it.
Now, I would say it is, as most RPGs go, pretty darn important to check with what the characters are saying at the time, because sometimes they don't repeat that stuff, and you need that stuff in order to make sure that there we go, paying my port fees, to make sure that you don't miss something obvious, or that something doesn't miss your you don't miss a mission as a result of a lack of reading.
Take it easy. That does not about coverage in the slightest. Why would you take a job you know nothing about? You don't even know who your employer is. This came straight from the chairman, remember? What more do you need? Anyway, I'm off. You can take a nap while you wait. Hey, come back here, will you? Rex.
uh, yeah, the Abyss Vest. It's probably one of the most important items. Well, the HP boosting vests are one of the most important. Yeah, accessories are a really big deal. I still have not figured out if there is a way to increase the number of slots you have, but if it is possible, I would totally do it. Oops, wrong way. Hmm. Ooh, excuse me. Alrighty. Now, me personally, I haven't found too much of a use for salvaging. I know there are a lot of uses, mostly money related, when you put together the sets, but I haven't found anything too horribly worthwhile out of salvaging yet. And this is coming from somebody who's gone through the entire game, so I don't know. I think salvaging, it serves its purpose, but it's not something I've focused on. Heck, come to think of it, there might be some blades that I did not get because I didn't salvage. Oh, one advantage to salvaging is that when you're doing salvaging repeatedly, the same buttons need to be pressed repeatedly. Like every single time you do it, you'll need the same buttons for that particular area. So, yeah, just remember your button presses, and yeah, you should be able to get good treasure every time. All right, not a bad haul at all. Okay. Okay. I'm going to buy one of everything here because this is one of those stores that you can actually buy, I believe. Besides that, I kind of wanted to make sure that I'm on that track. But yeah, like I said, there's not really much to spend money on that is going to affect the game too much up until the middle or the end, where you can get that blade. Now, me personally, I'm going to be using all of my saved up EXP because, yeah, it just makes the game more fluid that way, and I'm not trying to have this series last forever. All right, got an art. Yeah, pouches. That's another thing that I don't really use unless I have something that my blades need in order to get stronger. Oh, one thing that you'll notice, I will literally pick up everything with respect to missions. Well, quests. They're called quests now. With respect to quests, I may not necessarily do them right away, but I will pick all of them up. Now, this is one that I do not mind doing. Basically, we're going to play hide and seek with the kitties. Um, yeah. All of them are hidden um, in not necessarily obvious locations. Blah, blah, blah. You found me. How'd you do that? Blah, blah, blah. You found me. How did you do that? Go ahead and pick up his mission. Sorry, I forgot to get the last kid before I set that mission as active. So what I'll go ahead and do...
What's my age got to do with anything? I can tell an awesome piece of engineering when I see it. You don't close your mouth, so you're going to swallow a fly. It's not problem when you're the same age. Also, you might want to watch where you stand. Otherwise, when you cast off, that rope will take the leg off. Gotcha.
Look, you nearly.
Now look whose mouth's hanging open.
Lex, where have you going? There's no one seeing you off, man. You got nothing. Until then, rest up and say.
Hiya. Later.
All right. As I was saying, I needed to finish this hide and seek mission before I attempt to do the other one. But what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to go ahead and get on this boat and finish the first main story mission in the game. Okay, so basically that said, hey, I need to talk to everybody. So yeah, I'm gonna do that. Short and simple and to the point. I like Drill Mark a lot. Jin, however, is not even remotely my favorite person or character in this game. In fact, I kind of hate him a little. Yeah. As it comes up in the storyline, I'll tell you why, but he is not my favorite person. I do not like him. I do not think that his story is heroic or pitiful or any of that. He's just I don't like him. In fact, he's one of the few characters in any game that I've played that I have real disdain for. Making sure I'm not missing a chest.
That's the black ship from the corner. Is it following us? It's way too cold up here. You?
I'll have you know I've got a name. It's Mia. They've started using their decks. You should join them.
Why aren't you there?
It's not that I have to. I just really don't need idea right now.
Huh. Good thing you're not salvaging then.
How's that?
Swim like a fish and drink like one too. That's the salvage's code.
Oof, sounds terrible. I don't think I'll change it anyways.
Probably not. Anyway, I bet you drivers learn a hell of a lot more than salvages do.
It's okay.
My name's Rex.
Okay, Rex. Why did you start salvaging in the first place?
That there.
You know it's true. I don't get it.
You know, you find all sorts of things hidden through salvage. Some of it trash, treasure. But all of it from people long gone. Have you noticed there's fewer titans in spawn? I saw one go under just the other day. It was a pretty big one. There must have been loads of animals still living on it. The living space is really low, day by day. Sooner or later, we'll be the ones sinking down into the plague sea. But up there, Elysium is waiting for us.
Seriously, kid, Elysium, don't tell me you believe that. So that's why you're a salvager. It's just a lie for children. And that fate is just never going true.
If there's a way to the way, maybe it's hidden below the clouds. Is it really that crazy?
Seriously, though?
There'd be no need to fight over dwindling land and resources. No need to worry about our homes sinking away. Everyone had peace and security. I mean, a dream like that, isn't that worth believing in?
Nobody can tell you what to believe, but everywhere.
What?
I always thought people were pretty selfish by nature. But you, what? Do you think?
No. But I asked Grandma. When I was just a kid.
Grabs? Oh, the same one who taught you to use arts.
Yeah. He basically raised me himself. He's not like Maelstrom.
Not like. I'm not sure I catch your drift. But this Rhapsody sounds right. And you're alright too.
Not that different from me.
We're in position. All personnel report to stations. Salvage team, suit up and proceed to hatch.
Alrighty then. Oh. Oh, if you're wondering why I try to talk to every character with a star beside them, that helps you raise the level of whichever area you talk to them in. So, yeah.
Next, we'll split into teams and explore the interior. Once the target is found, retrieval can commence. If that's clear, let's begin with attacking the floors. Get into position.
Smooth souls.
And some.
Is that it? Looks pretty ancient. Is that the propulsion mechanism? I've never seen one like shape before. Which country made this?
That's massive.
The appearance matches our reports. That's what's inside that matters.
Object is secure. Proceed to second phase.
Excellent work. You know, found you.
I do this for a living, remember? All teams, proceed inside when ready.
Right then. Let's get moving. You with us.
Me? You're gonna drag the kid. Seriously?
Guess he thinks you need all the help you can get.
Well, don't just stand there. You've got your orders, haven't you?
Yeah, there's a little, there's a lot of little story nuances that they're introducing here that will pretty much be staples over the course of the game. Uh, Speaking of which, when Banna decided that he wanted to send, well, when Banna told Rex that they only wanted to send people from a certain area, his particular living area, well, the place where he grew up, yeah, that's a big plot point later on. All right. Keep you in the party. Actually, wait. I will switch you with the jerk for one reason and one reason only. He is a higher level. But she is the healer. I'll keep the healer in the party. Yeah, we'll keep the healer in there.
Let me show you the website that can do.
Wow. Yeah, he's kind of a jerk.
Right. So that's how drivers and raids fight for looters. It's like the monsters themselves. Nice. Should have had these drivers on our side. You too, Drummer.
No need to get scared. There was a look in the back.
Yeah, but still.
That's enough yapping, you pair of brats. Let's move!
Drag yourself in out.
Gramps always told me to respect my enemies.
I like their dynamic.
I made short work of Maelstrom. He's no ordinary fighter. Didn't tell them all that they were going well too. And much money to be made from these people.
Okay. Apparently there's a lot of money to be made. So yeah, this is basically free EXP. So I will be taking full advantage of it. Man, these numbers are so low. Right. If I'm not mistaken, I have to walk around for that particular one. That one too requires a different approach. Being careful where you step here is invaluable. Now you notice I jump down here and there's no real way to get back up. That's because the way to get back up is down below. Yeah. For now though, Okay, notice that when I fell through, I can use that hole to land on the spot for the treasure trove, which is exactly what I'm going to do. Okay. We're going to play up through the point where we get to the end of this ship, and then I'll consider this the end of the first episode. But generally speaking, I will keep the episodes about an hour long. I will complete whatever I can in that time frame, and make sure to put the missions that I complete in the description of the video so you guys can find them by searching. Generally speaking, the reason why I aggro so many people is because I don't find the battles particularly difficult. At least not at this point in the game. Yeah, I'm going to get those chests now. Wow, guy. Ooh. That was dangerous. Almost died. An attack stone. Alright, I believe that is all the treasure chests in here. Oh, I remember that one. There we go. I'm going to need you guys not to just aggro all at once. It's like, oh, I feel like aggroing right now. Let's go ahead and fight this guy. I mean, it doesn't really matter necessarily, but it does draw the fights out. Okay. Okay. Oh, yeah, I need the ether fuel cell first. Oh, by the way, that's the method that I use to get behind an enemy. Like if I'm on the side, is I'll hit him once and move a little bit, hit him once and move a little bit. A lot of people refer to that as kiting when you're ranged, but I'm not sure what you call it when you're melee. So, yeah, I'll just call it kiting for now. Either you start off behind the person as best you can, or you kind of kite around to the back of them. Alright, there's that ether cylinder, and then I'm going back around for that chest that was there. Now, I haven't found all the chests in the game, and I don't know if I'm ever going to because there's so many, and there's so many that need a different types of skills to open them. Which reminds me, when you do have a chest that has skills to open them, I'll teach you how to do that relatively consistently every time. Oh, it's ridiculous. Sorry, my allergies are getting the best of me. They flared up this morning for several reasons, chief of which is I had to run outside and clean up after my dog, who is intent on digging, which throws up all sorts of pollen and stuff. Even though there's not much pollen or, things to throw up, there's a lot of broken up pieces of grass that end up getting in my nose. So here I am coughing and sneezing. Good grief, I forgot about that move. That sucked. And here's the moment that changed it all.
Alan's crest.
Adam's crest. What does that mean?
You. Open this door.
Me?
This door will only open to one of you people.
One of me? What are you talking about?
Hurry up and do it! We're not paying you to ask dumb questions.
What the hell? You can't treat hired hands like that. Now, how do you open this thing? Oh, hey. So that was a release tunnel.
Just as I thought. Wait. There. Open that door too.
I'm kind of mad they used him as a decoy.
Let's go.
Shoot, Rex has main character status. How dare you use him as a decoy?
What is it?
son. He has his heart. No, not all these years.
Hasn't stopped. You mean that bell sound? Is the Praetorian somewhere nearby? Where are we?
This is the reason the land where long ago mankind lived in harmony and created. It's where we were born.
Really?
So much to talk about. So much symbolism. It's wonderful. It's another reason why I enjoyed the game so much. I'm sitting here and listening to the storyline of the game and how it intertwines with a lot of things in the Bible, and it's just like I enjoy the fact that the Bible is being used as a reference point for some of these stories.
Oh, right. But mine's...
I know you. You're Rex, right?
How did you know my name?
Just now, when you came into contact.
Just now? Sorry. I can't seem to remember how I got here.
You were killed. Stabbed through the heart by Jim.
Stab through the heart. Sorry, I had to do it.
That bastard stabbed me. Oh man, this is bad. Everyone in the guild is in danger. No, wait. I can't do anything if I'm dead. The Titan's fucked. If I wasn't dead, I'd kick that guy's ass.
I have a request. Can you take me to the reason?
The reason?
This one is more than one. An ancient, half-forgotten memory of what once was. The real reason lies in your heart. It's half of your tree. It rises from the heart of all of us.
So it's like an illusion. There was no way. I'm dead. Remember? How can I help if you're not dreaming?
I will give you half my life force. Alright? You can be revived. As my driver. As the driver of the Aegis.
Driver. Aegis. What would...
What will you do?
Is this place really on Earth?
Yes.
It really exists.
Yes. I know what you're thinking and you are correct. By coming to this place, you can save the planet. Save it from slow demise. It is its fate.
Maybe have to live. There's no choice. I'm in. Let's go to Elysium. I'll take you there myself.
Thank you, Rex. Here, place your hand on my chest.
What? You sure?
far as it goes.
Agents, over there. Just leave it out.
A child. Don't make me laugh. This kid. They insult me. Just a driver.
You're done. Thanks, Tyler. You're welcome. Now, go on. Yeah. Everybody, go now. Quick. Yeah. Hey, bully, over here.
You rat. How can nobody like you? Look at those eyes. I guess I should have been more wary from the start.
What do you mean?
Like I told you.
Well, alrighty then. All right. That's a very important bit of information here. Those side arts, the assist skills, are those things that will make or break a blade, and that is the reason why you generally want to have strong blades with your characters. Which brings me to another point. I will not give Rex uh, any other blades throughout the duration of this game because, as you may have heard or know, as you may or may not know, eventually Rex gets the ability to equip all blades. So there's no point in unlocking blades on him necessarily because there are no limits to what blades you can use when you are at a certain point in the game. And because of this fact, I will essentially be, Rex will essentially be one of my weakest characters for a long time in the game. Um, yeah.
It's no use. They're out of range. Damn it! What's this? We're not chasing. You just. I'll have happens.
Alright, so the end of chapter 1 will mark the end of this video. So, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I am Jeff the Christian Gamer. If you'd like to like and or subscribe, you may do so by clicking on the links provided. Also, if you'd like to check out other videos that I've done, you may click on the links in this video. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll catch you next time.